Do you ever feel like the world is stealing your peace every single day? An email from your boss, a negative comment on social media, a breaking news headline, or even just traffic. They all seem to have the power to sink your entire day. You get angry, frustrated, and feel powerless, like a puppet controlled by invisible strings called the external world. But what if I told you there is a mental shield that has been forged over 2,000 years, a path that helps you stand firm like a rock in the face of an emotional storm? Today, we're not talking about abstract theory. We're going straight into 10 immutable Stoic principles from the greatest slave in philosophy, Epictetus. 10 principles that will help you reach a state where absolutely nothing can shake you. Get ready to reset your mind. Welcome to The Edge, where we build resilient minds and meaningful lives. In this journey to find inner peace, there is no greater teacher than a former Roman slave who became a brilliant philosopher, Epictetus. He was not born into privilege. He faced pain, poverty, and dehumanization daily. It was in those brutal conditions that he distilled the essence of Stoicism into a system that is practical and actionable. These are not just words. These are 10 tools you can use today to build your inner citadel. Let's jump right in with the life-changing principle number 1. This is the bedrock of everything. Epictetus taught, some things are within our power and some things are not. What is in your power is your opinions, goals, desires, and your actions. What is not in your power is your body, property, reputation, and the actions of others. Why do you suffer? Because you are trying to control things that are outside your capacity. For example, you worry about what your boss might say outside control. You don't worry about preparing your own presentation inside control. The storm itself doesn't cause your distress. Your resistance to the storm causes your distress. Before every stressful situation, ask yourself, what here is mine? What is not mine? Focus 100% of your energy only on your attitude, your actions, and your response. Epictetus said, people are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. Quote, events are merely neutral. It is your judgment, your act of labeling it as bad, unfair, or a disaster that triggers the emotion. Suppose you get fired. The event, loss of a job. Judgment A, it's a catastrophe. I am a failure, leads to depression. Judgment B, this is a chance to start over. A course correction leads to action. The event is universal. The reaction is personal. Practice the pause. When a negative emotion arises, tell yourself, this is merely an impression, not the truth. I will not add judgment to it. Amor fati, amor fati. Love what has happened. This is not passive resignation. It is the active acceptance of a reality you cannot change. This turns every obstacle into raw material for you to build yourself. If you lose a large sum of money, a typical person wallows, if only I hadn't invested. The Stoic says, this is the latest event. I will use it to learn and become stronger. You are not trying to love the pain itself, but to love the lesson the pain brings. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me, rephrase it to, what is this trying to teach me? Turn every problem into a practice exercise for the soul. This is a technique that seems negative, but is incredibly powerful. Spend time meditating on the worst things that could happen. Losing your job, losing a loved one, public failure. The goal is not self-torment, but to recalibrate your fears. When you face your fears head-on, they lose their mystical power. After imagining the worst, you realize, I can still survive. You are giving yourself a mental vaccine. Any real problem that arises afterward will feel smaller and more manageable. Every morning, spend 5 minutes contemplating 1 to 2 worst-case scenarios. Then, write down what is the worst I can do about it and how can I survive it. Epictetus warned, freedom is not about having everything you want, but about not wanting things you cannot have. Suffering comes from the gap between your reality and your expectations. Stoicism doesn't forbid you from acting, but it forbids you from clinging to the outcome. Do you want a bigger house? That's fine. But if you tie your happiness to that house, you are handing power to the real estate market. If you strive for it, you are a warrior. If you need it to be happy, you are a slave. Weekly, practice voluntary discomfort. Willingly fast a meal, walk instead of drive, sleep on the floor. This teaches your mind that I am fine, even without these luxuries. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. This is a tool to focus on what matters most, instead of meaningless distractions. If you only had 1 year left to live, would you spend time worrying about what others think of you? Every time you get angry over a trivial matter, ask yourself, will this matter in 10 years, or is it just dust in the universe? The awareness of death makes the petty judgments of others meaningless. It is the strongest motivation to act now. When looking at a loved one, quietly tell yourself, today could be the last day I have with them. This doesn't create sadness. It creates deep gratitude and appreciation for the present moment. Epictetus advised, say little about what you are doing. Do more. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Silence is where you can reorganize your thoughts before you react emotionally. In an argument, the average person reacts instantly. The Stoic listens, waits, and chooses their words carefully. Strength is found in restraint. If you cannot hold your tongue, you have surrendered control to others. For the next 24 hours, impose a rule. Only speak when your words are better than silence. Or, practice an intentional 10-second silence before answering any important question. Life is a play. Epictetus said, perform the role that has been given to you in the best way possible. Your role is a father, a daughter, a friend, a leader, or a citizen. When you understand your purpose in a situation, everything else becomes a distraction. If you are a father, your role is to love, protect, and teach. If your career is struggling, you don't let that affect your role as a father. You are not distracted by what others are doing, but focused only on what you must do to fulfill your role. Each day, write down your 3 most important roles, and commit to 1 Stoic action you will take to honor each role. If you seek your happiness in the approval of others, you have handed them the keys to your mental house. Epictetus saw it clearly. If someone can make you upset, you are their slave. Posting a picture on social media and waiting for likes is a modern form of slavery. You hand your joy over to an algorithm and strangers. True strength is knowing that your worth is determined by your own character, discipline, and ethical action. Practice a private good deed once a week. Only you know about it. This trains your mind that the reward is in the action, not the praise. At the end of the day, the only thing that is truly good and completely in your control is virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Money can be lost, health can decline, reputation can be tarnished, but your character is immune to theft. If you are betrayed outside control, you cannot control the betrayal, but you can control how you respond. Courage, the fairness with which you deal with the person, justice, and the wisdom you use in making your next decision. Your character remains intact. Before bed, perform the nightly review of Epictetus. Ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What did I do well? What opportunity did I miss to be better? These 10 principles are not a checklist. They are a defense system against the chaos of the world. Remember our promise, nothing can affect you if you master your character and your judgment. Don't try to apply all 10 at once. Pick principle hajon, the dichotomy of control, and practice it for the next 7 days. This is the first step in reclaiming your ultimate power, the control over your own response. If you are ready to build this unshakable mind, hit like so the YouTube algorithm knows this content actually holds value. and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep getting powerful Stoic tools like this one. See you in the next video, where we will dive deep into